Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope we're on here. Hope everybody can hear me. Scott, check in on you. Make sure you're there.
Yep, I'm here.
All right. Well, hey, got a good call today. Got good stuff to talk about. As our new format, we'll have our conference call here, the FAX call. We'll call it, news and notes, and then some sales stuff. And then shortly after this call, we'll take a few-minute break and then come back with new agent questions and nothing's too silly or too small to discuss on the new agent call. So Scott and I have kind of carved out our Fridays, I guess, for agents. It's our agent day and sales tools and anything we can do to kind of help you get going and get you jump started, and that's kind of what we dedicate Fridays for. Got good stuff to talk about. Just kind of going through the group me stuff and different things that come up, and always good conversations on that. Like I said, if you are a part of the FBX, we got a lot of new people on every week, and but if you're fully committed to the FEX and you're with us 100%, then you can be a part of the group me chat, the chat that we have. Where you can get on there. There's a couple different threads. One just kind of general talk and stuff about the business, the good stuff, and then the other thread's kind of an SOS thread. That if you're in a home or you need an underwriting question or you're between a rock and a hard place, that's the one that you get on there and ask a question, and somebody will come to your rescue. So it's been a really awesome.
We need to thank everybody who participates on that thread, because there's a lot of good, sharp agents that answer those questions real quick. By the time I look at them, they've already had 4 or 5 agents answering them. JD was in my office yesterday, and man, he sounded like a pinball machine. And I thought, what in the heck's going on with his phone? Well, it's that he had this dinger on that thing where every time somebody was posting, it was beeping him. And I usually turn that off, and then I just look at it between several times throughout the day. But, man, those guys that are responding fast with the quick information, especially for these brand new guys that have some questions, that's a big benefit to the whole group.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I kind of do what you do, Scott. I had it off, and I don't know, it caused me too much anxiety. It was too much for me to keep up, and I don't know, my wife was getting aggravated at me, so going off all the time. So I put it on silent, and I'll check it, throughout the day. But if you think there's a question and only you want me to know about, you're gonna have to text me direct probably. I'll get to it on that group me thing, but it may not be as quick as you may hope. And sounds like the same thing for Scott, but yeah, it's really I enjoy reading it. A lot of times before I go to bed, I'll kind of flip through it, and it's funny stuff on there. I get laughing. I think, man, I wish I would have seen that earlier. I would have liked to jump in on that conversation or responded to that. But yeah, that's good stuff. So yeah, just kind of going over that.
One other thing on that topic, Travis, we ought to announce is that we're working real shortly here. We'll bring out an updated version. Should be a real good version of the current cheat sheets for the companies that we carry. We've got Travis kind of working on it. We've got an agent, Jake, over in Ohio, who's real detailed on all the different niches of underwriting of all these companies, and we've actually hired him. We're going to give him a little reward because he was working on a real detailed set anyway, so he's going to put his together. Travis will kind of match it up with what he's got. Anybody who has a set that they feel is real good, current, feel free to email it to Travis, and we're going to conglomerate all this information and have a new 2015 version that should be real accurate and helpful to everybody. So we should have that done within the next couple of weeks at the latest.
Well, I was thinking about that too, Scott. I didn't get a chance to talk to you yesterday, but I think we've got a pretty good one now that we've been working on, and it's going to be an ongoing thing, that it's going to always evolve and change as companies come on or, change your apps or do different things. So, I think we ought to get what we have and get it out there. And then, it's like anything else. When people see it, they say, oh, well, what about this or something? And we can just, kind of organically grow it, with, the agents and the group me thing and, kind of be a group thing. So I think we got a pretty good solid start, and, we probably ought to go ahead and put that somewhere, and then we can, I'll continue to edit it and, make it broader and better as we go and new things come up. It's just, it's been tough to just kind of dissect every possible scenario and get it on paper. And, I don't know, sometimes it's probably quicker to do it the other way. So, but, reading the group me thing is always good fodder for, conference calls, and, it's a cool way to kind of have a pulse of the group and things that are going on. So we got some good stuff to talk about today. Star 2 on your phone indicates if you want to come on and talk. And we really like to encourage agent participation. We always have the best calls when we have more people get on here and talk and share. And this is your time, our time together to talk and discuss and hopefully, make things easier and better for everybody. I did have one this week. I had one yesterday that I wanted to share. It's came up a few times in one house. I had two things happen that I've never done before, really. They talk about, I went to a guy's house and it was a little trailer, old trailer, but I won't, bore you with all the goofy details, but he had a State Farm policy, a whole life policy that he had taken out about a year ago. So he pulled his policy out and we was looking around and I was showing him Family Benefit Life, and it came out to be, he had a $10,000 policy, and I showed him it was for $2 less a month. He was going to be able to get $12,000 in face. So, and the guy was very low income, poor. Like I said, he only got, less than $1,000 a month, didn't have a lot. So I showed him, I said, and kind of goes with my presentation, that, hey, we work with people on fixed income, that, it's important that you get all the benefits and that you can get. Costs are just going to continue to go up. Anything that's left over, he did mention his daughter, that she would have the balance of that to use for other things. The funeral is the biggest part of final expenses, but there are some other expenses, and you kind of touch base on that. So, the first objection that he had was that he has a truck that with State Farm, he gets a multi-line discount. And I know if you've been in this long enough, you'll hear that, well, if I drop my life insurance, it's going to make my car insurance go up. And I know State Farm pushes that, but I never knew what that discount was. And I asked him, I said, well, do you have any idea, how much more your car insurance is going to go up if you drop your life insurance? He said, well, I'm not sure. I don't know, probably 11 or 12 bucks a month. So at that point, I knew I'm dead in the water unless I get this objection, unless I can cross this bridge, because the guy's loyal to a State Farm guy. He doesn't know me. And he thinks his car insurance is going to go up. It's going to kind of negate the savings, that he'd be getting with his life insurance. So I looked at his policy and the State Farm agent's name and number. I said, well, hey, at that point I got nothing loose. Let's call and just find out and make sure, that, what that will go up. So we called the State Farm agent, had like a secretary answer the phone, and he gave the information of his name and what he had, and was curious to find out, what, if he dropped his life insurance, what it would go up. And she looked and she said, oh yeah, it would go up. It would go up, and she was kind of real vague. So he asked, more specifically, how much will it? I'm kind of in the back whispering, how much, and she looked and she said, well, it's going to go up $11 over the course of 6 months. So his premium is going to go up $11. You paid 6 months. in fact, it came out to be like $1.80 or something, or what the exact was. And so he hung up the phone. He said, "Wow, I didn't think, I can't believe it's only $1.80 a month." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, right here." So essentially, it's a push because it was $2 less. I said, "So, your premium for your car is going to go up, $1.80. So it's going to be about the same premium you're paying now, but you're still going to gain the $12,000. I mean, the $2,000. You're going to have a $12,000 face instead of a $10,000 face." So he was excited about that. And then, so he said, "That makes a lot of sense." And then the next thing that came up, he was like, "Well, you know what? You seem like a guy, you seem like you're smart. But I don't know you. I know my State Farm guy. I've known him for a long time, and I'm not saying you're not above board, but I don't know you." And it seemed like I had a lot of that this week, to say the least. And so I go into I said, "Well," and we asked about calling the Better Business Bureau. "Hey, if I call the Better Business Bureau about you, what would they say?" I said, "Well," I've never had a complaint. I said, "However, I'm not a member of the Better Business Bureau because I choose not to pay the $800 fee that they charge you to be a member. It's not a value to me. But we're welcome to call." I said, "But really, what we are is we're regulated by the Department of Insurance." And I said, "You could call them and verify me." And so he said, "Well, do you have their number?" And I have used that close about the Department of Insurance and, that you can call and check on a lot. I mean, I've talked about that a lot. I don't know, over the course of 10 years that came up. I've never had anybody ever call. Well, he started dialing the number. And so he called the Indiana Department of Insurance. I'm sitting there. And the first thing he asked about family, "Hey, I got a question about this company and see if they're reputable, if they have any complaints." And there's like a little old lady on the phone, and it took her a while. She didn't understand the name of the company, and they're trying to figure. She's calling American Benefit. He's like, "No, it's Family." Oh, she said, "Oh, I found it. Nope, no complaints. They've been in Indiana since 2012. And then he asked about me. So, and I wrote my license number down. Anyway, she said, "Well, we'll have to transfer you to another department." So she transferred him over to the enforcement department, I suppose. And another little old lady's voicemail came on, and he left the message just saying, "Hey, I want to verify this agent, Travis Tubbs," and gave my license number and said, "I just want to make sure he's a reputable insurance agent," and hung up, and everything else was fine. And went ahead and we did the phone interview and got him wrapped up. But I thought it was interesting. I've never had anybody do that, but I'm glad he did because it didn't do anything but help. And the same thing with that multi-line discount. State Farm really shoves that down people's throats and thinks that's a real big value, but if you can sort through it, it's not. And their product is really overpriced on that, the life insurance. But I'll tell you, we always talk about why people don't buy. And I seen a couple, the group me, and I always go down to, obviously the John Duggar, where he's absolutely correct. People don't buy because of the cost. But then that's the major. But then there are some that they don't trust you or confidence or whatever, or a lot of different things. And I had a couple people this week that, and I seen somebody put something on the group me about they lost a sale. It was a guaranteed issue sale, but the money was just too high for them. And I think a lot of times we need to kind of really evaluate, and I think we beat ourselves up on that stuff and we own it that we blew a sale when they're really not, we didn't blow anything. It's tough to debate the price of a product with someone who knows absolutely nothing. They have no point of reference. They have no idea what it costs on the free market. And I got, I had a couple of those people. And really, when you run into those things, it's not your fault. But a lot of agents can get down and discouraged and upset and think it's something they did when really, you do everything you can do, but these people are in the situations they're in for a reason. I showed a husband and wife, some product. The husband's all in. The wife is like, well, that seems high to me. That's high. That's a little high. I said, well, okay, but here's the $5,000 guarantee. I'm guaranteeing that this is the best program you're going to qualify for. You can continue to keep on hunting and searching, and good luck to you. You've got a computer over there. I've got a guy that signed him up about 4 years ago. He's a really nice guy, and he told me he's going to win that. And he searches and hunts the computer all the time. He calls me every once in a while, thinks he's found something, but he never has. Never worked out. And but I know, but if I win, it's not for me. I said, well, yeah, I know, but I'm still going to spend it's my money I'm spending. I'm going to lose the $5,000 whether you get it or not. My money is the one that's on the line. I wouldn't be doing that if I wasn't confident that this is the best program you're going to qualify for. Yeah, I know. Well, it seems good, but I don't know. It just seems a little too. It seems good, but I don't know. It just seems a little too high. It's just too high. I said, well, we can look at something lower. I mean, the neat thing about these programs is you can always add to it. No, I can afford that $50. I just think I should get more than 10,000. So there is a part of, and that's part of our job. And I always talk about that's why we're salespeople, because you do have to sit there and kind of go from different angles and discuss. But at the end of the day, if you can't do that, that's not. And you've done all you can do. You can be upset because the person's hard-headed or ignorant or whatever we want to label them. But don't allow that to ruin your week, or go to the next house. That person is no different than the person who's just, won't let you in. You kind of got to be able to let that roll off your back and go to the next house, because we're going to see agent killers. Those people are tough to do, and that's why we have these calls, because it's kind of nice to group therapy that we all have those people, that we all experience things that it makes absolutely no sense why you wouldn't do this. This is exactly what you're looking for. So the only thing we can do is make sure that we control our game, that we're, doing everything we can do, that we have all the angles in our favor, that we've got the television shut off, that we've got an environment conducive to making the sale. That we have their attention, that we're aware if they're fading in and out. We've got to kind of drill down and find out, make this that's something that's important to them. It's real easy to kind of, I call it fast jacking. You kind of want to rush through it. My presentation, I think a warm up is quick, or it's speedy, but it can go slow if I need to. You got to be able to kind of control that, and you got to really be able to drill down and find out why you're there and discuss, these things. And if you're not getting some reaction, then you need to kind of drill down and find out something that will get them excited. When you drill, you take your time about the 3 reasons. These are why people mail the cards in. You give the 3 reasons. Which reason did you mail the card in? Well, we just really wanted some information, and we wasn't sure we didn't really know what the card was about. If you get that answer, that's not okay to go forward. You still need to drill down. Okay, well, I understand that. Let me ask you this. What do you have in place to take care of your funeral and final expenses? Because we need to get that out in the open before we can move on. They're good at dancing and stalling, and not committing, but that's our job too, that we need to kind of find out what we're doing there. So that's a nice follow up when you get people that just say, well, I wasn't sure what the card was, and I just read it back to you. And I think that's one really important why you should always read the card back. Because it takes away one other excuse. I read the card back every time. I think it's important. I know some agents don't do it, but I definitely, if you're a novice or new, or you should definitely be reading the card back. Print out the card, a blank card, and laminate it. Put it in your folder, in your notepad. That's the first thing I do is read the card back, and then drill down why they mailed the card in. And then drill down to, well, what do you have in place to take care of your funeral and final expenses? Do you have life insurance? Are you paying on any life insurance? Do you have money in the bank? Those are all questions, control questions, that you need to kind of get them in that mindset of thinking about what they're doing. But then, if all that works well and you get to the point and they don't think, even though they've had a heart attack, 26 months ago, some other health issues, but you can still get them first day coverage, and I don't know, you can't fix that. It can be a struggle, but it's funny in this business. It's ups and downs. And I was JD sent a text. He killed it. He did just shy of $10,000 in AP, and he said it kind of came pretty easy this week. He said last week he worked really hard and did 3,000. It kind of goes in waves, and I kind of had one of those waves this week. I worked pretty hard to hit my goal. I mean, I burned a lot of calories and said a lot of words and gave more presentations than I normally need to hit my goal. But that's just kind of how it goes. Scott.
That's good info on that State Farm stuff, Travis. I run into that every once in a while myself, and I've actually sold pre-need policies to two different owners of local State Farm agencies. And so they gave me a little bit of background of what's going on with that. They're the old school. The State Farm agents, the new guys coming in, have a way different contract than those old guys. And the old guys made a ton of money selling car and homeowner insurance. They didn't have to sell life insurance, and they, for the most part, hate life insurance. They don't like messing with it. They don't understand it. And they know that State Farm is nowhere near competitive on it, so they get killed on it if they try to sell it. They don't like it. But what's going on with these new guys is that in order to hit their bonuses with their selling their car insurance and their homeowners, they have to sell a certain percentage of life insurance. And so they're forcing them to get out there and learn it and try to do it, and they get murdered on it on price. They're not in the ball game on price. So what they're normally doing is they're selling for people that are thinking they're buying whole life. If they're buying anything bigger, I don't know if the number's 15,000 or 25,000, but if it's a policy any bigger than that, it's a non-guaranteed universal life they're selling. It's not whole life at all, and it's not even a GUL. It's one where as they get older, there's no guarantees on it, and it's likely going to expire on them unless they overfund it. So when you run into bigger State Farm policies, it's not just premium, it's the product itself. And I ran into one recently that it looked like it was on a young guy, and it basically was guaranteed age 65. It was a $50,000 policy, and at 65 it actually reduced down to $25,000, which this guy had no idea of. And but it even wasn't guaranteed at that. When it reduced down to $1,000, if he didn't pay extra payments into it, it was not guaranteed to even stay in force. So look for that with State Farm policies as well as just the fact that they're overpriced on their smaller whole life policies.
Yeah, and it goes along with, we talk about this all the time, calling companies, and if the individuals had State Farm for a number of years and they know the agent and they drive by the sign, the billboard, you're not going to be able to sit there and say, hey, look, it's only going to be this. It's one of those things that you're going to have to call. They're going to have to hear it from the horse's mouth. You're going to have to get that from State Farm before that person's ever going to make a commitment to, cancel their State Farm policy and do business with somebody they just met. It's just one of those obstacles that you gotta understand, that when you go into any home, you may have to do some legwork and lead them through, because after doing this for 10 years and who knows how many presentations, I know that most of these folks, we're going to I don't know, they're not going to believe everything I say. You know, they've been too good to be true, or they've been hurt. I don't know. It's painful for them to realize maybe they didn't do the best thing or didn't get the best deal, or maybe the State Farm guy didn't help them, or the insurance agent that was there before didn't really put them in the best spot. So, you know, a lot of times you're going to need to be able to call the customer service, and also with that is kind of preparing the client on what questions to ask. You know, they have to, I know what they want to hear or what they need to hear to do business, but I got to make sure that we get that information conveyed, that we get it out there. And, you know, a lot of times they get on the phone and they won't ask the appropriate questions to get the responses that we need to move forward. So,
one other thing you talked about today, Travis, I know this is a real controversial position with a lot of agents, but the whole thing about the Better Business Bureau, I joined it years ago, and it's about $200 a year. And
more than that.
I know no, it ain't no more than that. Just to use their logo and to have an accredited.
I just talked to. I'm telling you. Well, I don't know. I guess it's. And where I was at here,
might have to do with population of your area or something.
It was $600.
Mine's about $200. Now it's extra if you want to use their logo on your website, which gives you some, you know, comes up in searches and stuff like that. But the basic membership in my area is $200, and it allows you to put their logo on your business cards and letterhead and stuff. And basically all it's for, in my opinion, is just like what that lady was looking for with you. Some people trust it, and I have a lot of them that do. I have a lot of people mention to me that after I've first met with them or first sold them the policy and I'm out delivering it, they looked me up on there. I checked you out with the Better Business Bureau, and they said you're A+. And that's really all it is. It's just like buying a good housekeeping seal of approval or anything else. It doesn't mean much. And the Better Business Bureau doesn't hardly ever give any businesses a bad rating, whether they're a member or not, unless they actually have, all they've ever done is if people file a complaint, you know, this Windows service ripped me off and they won't answer my phone calls, then the Better Business Bureau is an intermediary. So they will contact that business owner and let him know what the complaint is and get a response out of him, what his position is. And if he doesn't respond, that's how they get a bad rating with the Better Business Bureau. And it doesn't matter if they're a member or not. I mean, if they're a member, they're not going to stay a member if they won't respond. But that's all it is just kind of an intermediary for businesses so that people will complain to them rather than complain to the State Department of Insurance or something. So it kind of saves your butt on a little bit of that if you get it. But the whole key to being worth $200 a year is just having that logo and that people can feel like they've checked you out and somebody's saying, hey, he's fine, he's been in business since this date, this guy's the owner, these people are his employees, this is his location, and we've checked him out and he's legit. And that's all it does, but it more than pays for the $200 a year, I can promise you.
Let's see. We'll start to. Anybody has any comments or like to come on and discuss anything? We still got our leads, our tele leads going. We also, you know, if you're a FEX person, you can also take advantage of our direct mail. Seems to be working pretty well. I mean, agents seem to be doing pretty good with those leads. I haven't started. Scott, I think I'm going to go ahead and may enroll and give it a once over.
Yeah, I gave everybody that's got leads in that's on that program. I dispersed the leads to your database this morning. So you've got your fresh ones in there. You'll have the guys on bank draft. It'll bank draft on Monday, which I'll send you an email later today with the number of leads you got and how much you're going to draft on Monday. And then the PayPal guys, we've got that sent out to you, so you should have an email to pay that from PayPal. So everything's set for the week on there. Most agents are getting the number of leads they're requesting, they're getting it now. Other than we have just, I think, 2 agents that it's coming up a little bit short on.
Well, that's fine. At least you're running lean, so you're getting them as soon as they get them. Also, just want to follow up on the tele-leads. If you go in and you put an order for tele-leads, you got to pay for it at that time. So you don't get on there and order and then just walk away from your computer and not see it through and put your credit card in, because I'm going to have them, if the order's in and it's not paid for when it's submitted, then I'm going to have it canceled, because we've got the pricing down, and the same thing with the whole FEX. We don't have the personnel or the time to track everybody down or remind you about your payment. I mean, we're all grown business owners, and so those little incidental things all need to be. We can't have any of that. So we run too lean of a program to do all that administrative silliness. So it's frustrating when we get those emails saying, hey, little Johnny wants 40 leads, but he hadn't paid for them. So don't sign up for leads unless you pay for them. Let's see, we got there's no name. Let's see, it's Florida.
That's Sharon from Palm Coast.
Oh, okay. Hi, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
Hi. Just a comment about the Better Business Bureau. If someone files a complaint against you, even if you resolve it, you can't get that complaint off of their website. So, just be a little beware of that. About the tele-leads, I've been having great success with them. And my postcard leads for me to lead are horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. 39 leads I got out of 5,000. 5 of them were over 90. I haven't been able to get appointments with those people. They don't answer the phone. I've gone to the doors, and they're not home, or they don't answer, or they said they weren't interested. So I don't know if the results are different. And Needle said I would get about 19 per 1,000 back, and I didn't hit that number. So, but maybe your other leads are a better company, a better postcard. I don't know.
Yeah, the direct mail is a crapshoot when you do price per 1,000. And are you in Florida?
Yeah, Florida.
That's a state that's known to be low returns. I'm surprised he even set your expectation at 19 per 1,000. That'd be almost 2%. So it's just a tough state for direct mail. This set price lead program should work much better for that. We've got one agent that just started with it in Florida. His first set of leads today. And it came up a little bit short. He wanted 20, and I think it got him 18, so it's not too short. But he's only having to pay for 18. That's the advantage of this type of thing.
Right.
But it is a commitment that you do have to go on it for every week. It's not something you can just do occasionally. So,
what part of Florida is he in?
I think Sebastian County. I believe that's where most of the leads came from so far.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, the nice thing about the lead program is on that one, that's a price per lead. The lead card does say life insurance on it. You only pay for what you get. So there's no risk. And especially if you live in a state like Florida where the returns can be very up and down, and that's definitely probably the best way to go is to do the set price leads. See, star 2 on your phone. I'm not Milwaukee.
Yes, Bob Daly.
Bob, okay. He's showing up different. Usually you don't show up in Milwaukee.
Got a couple different lines depending on who I'm calling. They answer the phone a little better if you're local, I guess.
There you go.
Anyway, couple questions. Is it a different login for the website now?
Yeah, good question, Bob. We got we got it set up where everyone will have individual login passwords now. And Mark Stover at our 800 number, he gets you set up with that if you haven't done that yet. But it'll get you access to all the stuff that we had previously. Now it's behind an individual password. I changed the quoter because we had some agents that use that every day, and I didn't want them to be locked out until they got with Mark. So I've made the quoter page that affects quotes unlimited, where it's available with just the password FEX123. You can go on it without logging in the new way of logging in. So you can still access that if you need to, if you haven't set up a login yet. But get with Mark, and he can get you the information to do that. And then we've done a little bit of rearranging of the current website, but we're going to start adding quite a bit of new material to it now that we've got it set up that way.
Okay. And another question. I have put GroupMe on my phone. I'm not real technologically endowed here. So do I have to sign up a different way, or how do I get involved and get put on the list?
Once you've got GroupMe on your phone, just send me a text to 270-823-2413. That's my text number. Okay. Send me a text with your cell phone number that you get text to, and put your name on it, and just say add me to the GroupMe, and then I'll get you added on there. As soon as you see that you've been added on, you'll get a little notice on it. Do some sort of a text. There's two groups, so do a text on both of them. Just say Bob Daly hello, or Bob Daly just added, whatever you want to say. But say something, and then that way it'll lock you in where you're on it. For some reason, it automatically kicks you out if you don't say something within the first hour or so. Then it takes you back out of it.
Okay. All right, good. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Bob.
Bet.
If anything's been blocked out of that got blocked out accidentally, go ahead and send me a text and let me know that, and we'll see what we can do to get you back in. It's a little bit glitchy on that kind of stuff, but I think we can get you back in there. And if anybody wants in that's not on it, just do like I just told Bob. Just send a text to 270-823-2413. And be sure and put your name, because sometimes you guys text me and I don't even know what your name is. I can't add you if I don't know your name. But put your name, your cell phone number that you get text to, and then that you want to be added to GroupMe.
All right, let's see. Star 2, let's talk to JD. JD did almost $10,000 this week in annual premium, which is that's a heck of a week. If I could find him. Here he is.
He did it with no new leads either, because he came by the office yesterday, and I asked him how those new leads worked out that I sent him. Sent him 20 brand new ones last Friday. He didn't even know I did it.
You're my boy, Blue!
JD, you're on.
What's up?
Tell us about your week.
Well, you need to know.
Tell these guys how to do 10,000 in a week.
Just get out there and go. Weeks like that happen. Actually, weeks like that are your easy weeks. You know that. When you do that much, everything falls into place. Everybody meets with you. Everybody buys. You can't have a whole lot of problems and write that much. When you have a whole lot of problems, it's like, beating and banging, running all over the damn place, and get 2,000 to 3,000 maybe.
Are you working those new leads, JD? Was that
let's see. Some of them, no. I don't guess any of them. Any of the business this week came from the new leads. One of them was a E64 I've had since November. A couple of referrals in here. Some of them I did on another day. I was in the field more days than normal this week because these leads are kind of all over the place, so I can't really work my schedule like I want to and be in the field 2 days. So I am actually being in the field a few more than 2 days. But I'm in the field. Like this week I was in the field for a couple hours on Monday afternoon after I'd set my appointments for Tuesday, and then I was gone all day Tuesday. And then Wednesday afternoon, I went and saw a couple of people. And then, of course, after I had made my appointments for Thursday, and then, of course, yesterday I was gone all day. So actually, for 4 days this week, I was in the field all 4 of them. Only 2 full days, but I was out there for some of it. But then some of them I did were like on Tuesday. Some of them were one of them was a referral, and then one of them was another one was from an E64 that I don't even know how long I'd had it, but it says on the top of it, send this in for the 2014 benefits. So it had to be sent to them November or December. I think he started using the 2015 in December, so it had to been since November. Of course, I was showing Scott too. I got a whole bunch of leads, but I mean, some of them are like E64s that are a year old. Never throw a lead away until I get a hold of people. But I put the new ones on top. But
well, it's a good week.
Same old thing I always do.
Ground and pound, ground and pound. Just one thing is nice is just consistency. Just working your schedule and being out there and seeing the people, and that's really the one thing. That always helps. That's the first step. Sit around and think about it.
Yeah, there was a guy on the forum. I know he's not with this group or anything, but he's in Kentucky. He's in Eastern Kentucky, right in Lexington area, and he had sent me a private message. And I told Scott the other day, I don't know how y'all deal with this crap. He sent me a private message about Equita. And he was talking, and said somebody had told him, Matt had told him to contact me because he had been talking to Matt about, I don't know if he was going to 360 or was talking to Matt about buying his leads or whatever. But the guy's a property and casualty agent, captive, and now he's wanting to get away from that and be independent and get into final expense. And he was asking me about Equita, mainly Equita because of the finance lead program. I told him about FEX and this and that, and I told him, I said, if you need the finance lead program, probably Equita is about as good as there is. And he didn't know who to contact or anything, so I gave him Chase's number. And it was a week ago. This week he's probably met me a couple of times over some different things asking about, and then so last night he sends me a private message asking about if I knew of anybody that he could do a ride along with in that side of Kentucky. And so I said, no, I don't really know anybody. I especially don't know anybody with Equita that would be there. I said, like I told you before, if you'd have got with FEX, you could go ride with Travis. But I said, but I asked him, who's your upline? Who'd you sign up with Equita? And it'd be worth going wherever they're at. You got to pay your tuition in this business. You can't expect everybody to come to you. Then he sent me a message back. He hadn't called Chase yet. So I'm done responding to that dude. You know, I gave him Chase's number a week ago. And actually what he said, I was thinking I was going to call him next Monday. I don't know how you guys deal with that stuff. You know, that would try my patience. That's why I don't have agents under me. I mean, that would, but you know, the guy asks you for something, you give him the number. I mean, I gave him Chase's cell phone number, so he wouldn't have to go through a bunch of press one and all this, you know.
Well, you know what
and then he doesn't do it.
He's not as serious as you are. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's why they spin and it's time to go. Like, talking to new agents about, you know, they got their leads.
Getting ready.
Yeah, right. But they want to study up that. Hey, you got to go. Got to see the people and make something happen and pick a company and go to work and write it. And then you can always evolve and grow. But you gotta start to be able to evolve. You know, I don't know that they're pretty much stopped. Yeah.
Well, that's something I put on that chat all the time. Good judgment comes from experience. Experience comes from bad judgment. You got to get out there and screw up. I mean, you're going to screw up. Hell, I screw up sometimes now. You know, but you're going to make mistakes in this. Especially going to make mistakes early. But you ain't going to learn anything if you don't get out there and do something. You know, these guys, they want to get, you'll see them, they want to know every possible scenario before they go on their first appointment. What if he says this? What if they say that? What if they ask about this? What if they want to know about that? What did you say when they asked you that? Oh, nobody said that to me yet. You know, and you know, it's just got to get out there. It's and you know the thing about it, these folks, you know, too, they're saying, you know, you get it all the time about people complain about the leads, and that's everybody, you know, and I'll tell anybody, there's agent killers in every batch of leads from every source you get them from. I don't care where they come from. There's agent killers in the bunch. And if you let those bother you, you will be out of this business before you ever get to the point that it is a career for you. You know, it's a job when you start. It takes a while for this to become a career. You will never advance it to a career if you let those agent killers get to you. You know, there's, like I said a million times, if you're in baseball, if you're a 300 hitter, you'll have a $20 million a year contract. Well, that means you're making out 70% of the time. If you close 30% of your leads, you're one of the best final expense agents in the country. Tim Winders is as good as they get. Tim didn't close 30% of his leads. Now, he made up for it by having a hell of a lot of annual premium per month, but his closing percentage was around 25%. But if you can get 25, 30%, I mean, you're great at this. And that means you're not selling 70% of them, though. And if you let that 70% bother you, like I said, it will always be a job. It will never be a career. And you ought to start looking for another job if that's going to bother you. And it's just you know, people want to say this is just it's all in the numbers. It ain't all in the numbers. Like, you know, that's IMO talk for a numbers game. It's a numbers game eventually. It's a numbers game for me. It's a numbers game for Travis because I know what my numbers are. I know how many if I get 20 leads I can bet you and be 99% right how many sales I'm going to get out of it. Well, when you don't know that. You don't know your numbers. So it's more than about the numbers. It's about, following the thing, and you develop your sales skills. I am not a salesman. I'm not a very good salesman. I'm better than I was when I started this. But you learn sales things after you. I know, like I was talking on the chat this week about, how do you know when you're not? Sometimes you just know. I've been doing this long enough now. I know buying phrases. I know buying actions. I've seen it enough. I know when I've got a sale before I've got the sale. I also know non-buying words and non-buying actions and when it's time to pack up and go. But I didn't get that way by sitting on a conference call or looking at a webinar or even talking to other agents, and I'm a student of this game. You guys didn't have a call last week, so I got with Tim and got his number. I got on Tim last Friday. Since FEX wasn't having one. But you still don't learn any of that stuff from those things. You learn that by sitting in front of people. And you learn that from your nose. You learn more from your nose than you do from your yeses. Because your yeses, you don't second guess. You got your sale. Your nose, you dissect that. How come that was a no? And over time you learn that was a no. I don't give a damn if you sat there 2 more hours. I told Scott that yesterday. I was with some people Wednesday. I did sell them, but I wanted to sell them more. He had a Columbian Life and she had a State Farm. I did plant the seed for her cash value on that. And I do think when I deliver a policy that I planted that seed pretty well that I may get something. But I could have sat there Wednesday for 2 more hours, and they wasn't going to do anything except what they did. But it takes time to know that. 5, 6 years ago, I might have sat there that 2 hours and left there with the same thing. But that just takes practice, time, learning this. But you don't get any sales if you don't get out there.
Well, that's for sure. See, *2 on your phone. Have any comments, questions, concerns? We've got a couple more minutes here. We can talk about any sales things you guys want to discuss or talk about, or anything that may have worked for you, or ideas, or we can talk about. This is the time. Brentley.
Hey, Travis. How are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm real good. Hey, I had a really bizarre thing happen this week, and I think it would be good for you to kind of hear it and then kind of listen. I talked to JD about it already, but I thought the whole group would probably know, and I would have put it on the thread, but I thought it was too long. But I'll try to be as brief as I can. I had a lady that I had insured with Transamerica, and I had like $25,000 on her, and she had called me and said, "Hey, I want to maybe get more insurance, and I want to raise this insurance." And so I wrote her a couple of years ago, and when I got there and when I met her, I found out basically I did her with Oxford, and and I wrote her $30,000, and when we did the phone interview, she had got to a question and whatever it was about medication, and and everybody knows how difficult Oxford's the process is to get anything approved anymore. Well, I called Amanda, and Amanda said it was about a back pain. It was about a medication that she was taking for it. So the Amanda said, look, get the doctor to sign off on that, and get that, and and I'll approve it. So anyway, and I talked to, and the girl that I was trying to insure, she said, look, she goes, I know that this comes up on my report because I'm allergic to these other medicines. So this is the medicine really that my doctor said it, he's already told me that it would come up, that it was an addiction medicine. Well, so we were all aware and we were on the same page. Well, I went to this, so I had Amanda said, to get the doctor, and I said, take the HEPA form and whatever. So I took the copy of the application to the doctor's office, and I said, look, this is one of your patients. I said, we're applying for life insurance. I said, here, she signed this HEPA to release information. I said, what we need is a letter saying that basically that she can answer question 6, I think it was, and then question, I think it was 12 or something. These are the 2 questions that we're concerned about. And would you be willing, I'd like for the doctor to look at this and be able to say, and be able to clear her and say that she doesn't have any of these and the medication she's on is not for an addiction or whatever. So, well then this lady at the doctor's office, she's like the doctor's wife, says to me, well, you're going to pay for this. It's like, oh, okay. Well, we'll have to pay to get the letter. She goes, you don't do anything for free, do you? And I said, oh, no. I said, that's fine. I said, I'll pay for the letter. If you can get me the letter, great, So anyway, the insured then, I called the insured and or who I was trying to insure, and she said, yeah, I talked to them at the office and I told them that it was okay to, they wanted to release from me and all this. Well, then I get a call from the doctor's office, and this crazy lady is saying, well, you got to get it, and she hasn't called us, she hasn't communicated with us. You guys want to get this, and you guys got to get together and get this done right and figure out what you want. And I said, fine. Well, she had an appointment at the doctor's office 2 days ago. So I just told her, hey, look, I'll just get the doctor's office. We'll go in there. We'll talk to the office manager, and we'll tell them exactly what we need. I thought that was the perfect solution to the problem. Well, sure enough, I got there, and I walked in, and then she came out, and she had already been back with the doctor, and she came back out, and she said, look, the doctor says you don't need to be here. And I said, fine, that's fine. Maybe you'll get the letter, whatever. Give it to me. We'll be done. Well, no sooner, in the afternoon, this lady the lady from the doctor's office, she calls me back and she tells me to never to stop foot in their office ever again. And if I do, that they will have me arrested. And then they were telling me that, don't you ever call back here to this office because we are calling the police right now. It was bizarre. But my question is, and I think everybody needs to know, if you do have to do like I know that everybody's going to say, just write them with someone else. But the problem is that the insurance, to make it worth this lady's while, Oxford was lower. It was a much lower policy that I could get her on, and so it made it worth the while to switch. So I'm asking, what, like when you have to go the extra mile to get a doctor's statement or whatever, just don't do it. But what
Brent,
should I do?
Brent,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
You should say thanks, lady, and go to the next one. That's I don't know. You know what I mean? We're all independent contractors. And you can make your own decision, but I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to a doctor's office. I'm never going to, that's beyond the scope of my responsibility, in my opinion. I don't know that, if that lady wants to, take on that challenge, the insured and get it straightened out, and do the due diligence, then, good luck to you. You do it and call me back when you have these items that I need.
So
'cause
don't
it is
do
kinda,
it yourself. Make her
oh
do it.
heavens, no.
Make them do it.
Yeah, no, yeah, you don't want to do, because it is kind of a, I don't know. I
It's a
would,
gray area.
oh, as well, yeah, it's almost,
Uh,
yeah, too gray, because you shouldn't
okay.
really, I don't know, that's beyond probably your authority. I don't know, to go in and collect those or demand stuff about, even though she signed that HIP, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't expose
I know.
myself to that. That's
Well, I just felt really bad about it because I didn't, like I said, I mean, I thought I was doing what the doctor's office wanted me to do. I was working in that town. I thought, man, I could, it would have been a good commission. It was good for the client because we were able to get her like $5,000 more life insurance for the same price she was paying before. So, it helped her and everything, but this but it was like, oh, it just blew up in my face. And so, that's why I thought, man, I need to find out what, so basically what you're saying is, if you can't write them that day, and if you're not going to get them written, and you're not going to get it simplified approved, just move on. Don't just
right. What I'm saying is, if you can't add to it or replace it or do something when you're in the home, and it's going to require, if she's got like a phantom MIB hit or whatever it is, or she's taking it, whatever, then she needs to do that. She needs to go ask her doctor and get a letter, and then you call me and you can send it to me or fax it, or I'll come back and see you. But you got to put a little bit, because you know what? You could do all that dancing and spinning plates, and you come back and she says, I changed my mind, I don't want to do it. Or she could, I don't know, you know what I mean? There's no guarantee that all that work and energy is, I don't know. I think it's better.
Itself, yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's still, I would go find other people.
Too much work for it with not a guarantee really there. And then plus
really,
the doctor,
it's beyond the scope of your authority too, in my opinion. I don't know. Like, I think I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Okay. All right. Well, I just thought that man, I tell you that this lady's like, oh, well, we're going to have you arrested. And it's like, oh, like, what are you arresting me for? I don't know what I'm getting arrested for, but anyway, but I was threatened to get, but today, so this week, but okay. Well, thank you for that. Like I said, I don't know. I'm sorry that wasn't on track, but at least I think, people, if you got that with that HEPA, and because, that's one thing about Oxford right now. It seems like, that, like I said, and I know a lot of people write them, they're so damn hard to get anything approved. I mean, and when they do start doing that phone interview anymore, it's brutal. And then at the end, then they're like, oh, and then what, and like I said, there's like I said, you want us to send this to the senior underwriter for review. Well, and then, Amanda then gets on the phone and says, yeah, I could do it, but I need this. So it just seems like that happens a lot to me. And maybe I'm just not writing them. Maybe I'm not underwriting them good enough. Getting everything out.
That's what's happening. Yeah, you're not. The time you should have those types of flare-ups is if someone takes a prescription and they don't take it currently. They don't currently have the bottle, or it's currently not on their list from their pharmacy. Maybe it's showing up a year ago or something. But other than that, if they've got it and they're taking it and you don't know about it, that's the agent's fault. And
right.
And the other thing too, we have to be a little bit, and this is not about you specifically, but we had this before. These companies are underwriting things sight unseen. They just go off the MIB, the script check, and this phone interview, and they're incurring all this risk. So that's why I don't really give them a much beef about if it's a prescription that's on their knockout list. Hey, it is what it is. I don't care if the people are taking it for something very benign and innocent. If it's their company, it's their money. If they want to say I don't want somebody that drinks Diet Coke, then it's their prerogative. It's their So I don't do a whole lot of begging or working or trying to bend the rules or make a special call. I don't know. I just find the best one that fits, and this is what it is. And, because it's hard for us to want, we want a point of sale approval. We want black and white, but then we want all these other,
Great.
rule bends and exceptions and understand this and understand that. I don't know. I think it's unreasonable to expect that from the carriers. So that's why I go by the agent guide and but I go by that. You guys stay on your side and I stay on my side. And when I like to, pick my fights or when I'm in the right, when it's black and white and I can win, and those are the ones I'll go to bat and battle for. But those gray ones make exceptions and stuff. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. But I'm not going to do a whole bunch of work. And trying to.
Yeah, Brent, I had the exact same thing come up last month with the same company, Oxford. Medicine was showing up. The guy absolutely said he never took it, never had the condition it was, that they're saying it was prescribed for, and he was adamant about it. And so they told me, if he gets the letter from the doctor, we'll accept that and approve him. So I just put it on him. You need to go get this letter from your doctor. State clearly that you never had kidney disease. You've never had this medication. It's an absolute mistake on your credit bureau report or your script check, whatever it is. And he went and got the letter. He called me 2 days later, and I wrote him up, and he was approved. So, that's how you handle it. You don't go to the doctor yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I lived and learned on this one, that's for sure. And it wasn't a real good experience, but
Brent,
I thank you for your help on that. That's good advice.
Brent, one question about that, and this will tell me whether you're a true producer or weak. Did you ask the lady that was telling you that at the doctor's office, did you ask her for some referrals?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I actually started passing out cards when she was dialing the 911.
Right. Good then.
So, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Brent.
All right, let's see here. Steve?
Yeah, Steve down in Florida.
Yeah. You got a lot of static on your phone, Steve. I don't know what. Rainstorm.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah, there you go.
I was originally calling because I was going to ask Scott about where my RGI leads are, but he sent them. So
I emailed them to you a minute ago, Steve. I'll get you a login for their database here later today, so you'll have access to go on there. And how that works with the RGI leads is that the leads stay in the database basically forever. Now, you'll want to make a backup copy on your computer just in case they ever purge real old ones or anything. But basically, you can go on there and look at your old ones from months ago, weeks ago, whatever. And then each week we just add them in there, so you'll have the freshest ones should show up on top, I'm hoping. I'm not sure how that works on your end, but I can sort them by dates on my end.
Okay, great. They look pretty good.
All right.
I did notice one of them is blank, and one of them there's an age of like 85 or something. I thought we had an age cutoff.
Is the blank one a physical address or a P.O. box?
Don't know the answer to that.
Anytime you get, if you have an address or a phone number, that's a lead. But if you have like a completely blank one, no phone number, and it's a P.O. box that you can't know where they live and no way to contact them, well then, in that case, they will give you a credit on it.
Okay. Let's see. I hate to keep everybody here waiting, but there was another one too. There was one from an 84-year-old, and I thought we had an age limit of 78. But okay,
now we've got the list that they're mailing to is screened for ages 55 to 80. For the most part, and I've looked at a lot of them, I haven't seen very many outside those ages, but you will get them occasionally. As long as there's just one or two occasionally, then that's not a problem. But if you start getting a number of them, you'll let me know, and they may give us some credit on those. Now, if it's anything ever over 85, they will give you credit on it.
Okay. This other lead is just blank. there's a home address, but there's nothing. They didn't write anything down.
If it's got an address, then that's still considered a lead. So you just have to door knock that one, and every lead vendor gets you those.
That's fine. Actually, what I was hoping to ask about was I had a weird situation happen yesterday. First time I come across this, so maybe it's my inexperience, but couple was good to go. They were happy. They were so happy I was saving them a bunch of money compared to they had all state policies, and they didn't realize what a mistake they made by buying what they thought was universal insurance, and it was actually universal term. And it was increasing on them, and they were pretty upset about it. And so they were pretty happy by the end of the meeting, and we were getting to the point where all we needed to do was call Allstate and switch it from draft to direct bill long enough to get the new policies in place. And because we're so close to the draft date for Allstate said there's only 4 days between now and then. We can't shut it off. We're going to draft it anyway. And that got the woman that I was selling to all upset. She was, well, the Allstate guy actually told her that if you go and you try to shut it off at the bank, then the bank is going to charge you, they're going to, charge your bank account $35 for every, one of these that you try to stop from happening. He got her all upset. He's somewhere inexperienced in anything. But I guess what I was wondering, I managed to get the sale to go through anyway. Just reassured them that everything's going to be all right. They were going to call their bank and just stop the payment. And it was going to put things in a grace period. I just was wondering if you had any insight for me, if that's a normal thing for insurance companies to stop that.
Yeah, most companies, if it's within a few days of the auto draft, they'll tell you they can't stop it. I don't know if they can or not, but basically, if you want to get confirmation from him that he knows she's canceling as of today, if it does draft, they will have to refund her premium. If they can't mechanically stop it, she still doesn't owe it because she canceled before the draft, and get him to verify that he understands it that way with her on the line, so this shouldn't be really pissed if he doesn't honor that. And then I would do just like you did, have it stopped at the bank, and some banks will waive the fee, others won't, but it's usually not that big of a fee. If they're pissed off like she is, that's usually going to be the way to go. And everything we said earlier about State Farm is the same with Allstate, exact same situation with both those companies. They usually sell ULs that are not guaranteed. I don't think they have a guaranteed UL. They just have the old ULs with no guarantee on them.
Yeah, this was a universal term that built up just enough cash value where it looked like over the life it built up maybe $400 or $500, and it was getting to the point now where the premiums were raising so much they were eating into the cash value, and next month they were gonna lapse anyway. So I was just more wondering, when we got to the point on the call where he got her all upset, I didn't want to cancel their insurance with Allstate because she's had cancer in the past, she's had other things, and even though I placed them with, I did an Oxford with him and a trans with her, I don't have a 100% guarantee that she's going to be accepted, and I hate to cancel another policy before.
I wouldn't do that.
Never,
I would
not
cancel
replace
another policy.
Okay.
So she's just canceling the payment, but not the policy so far, right?
Yes.
What I just told you about getting him to confirm that he knows she's canceling, I would not do that step. If she's not pre-approved, if it's not a company that you got a point of sale approval, you don't want to cancel that policy because you're wide open to a big problem there if she gets declined.
Right.
You just want to cancel the bank draft.
I guess if I had known up front, I probably would have placed her with a company that was pre-approval. But I had already gone through and explained the whole thing. I mean, we were at the very end. I had already pumped trans and all that kind of stuff. So going back and reversing and doing another company was.
How long ago was her cancer?
It was a while ago. In fact, I asked about this on the forum. She had twice. She had breast cancer, and then back 7 years ago, she had I forget what she said the second one was. But when I was reading through the apps, I was doing Oxford for him, And when I looked at the Oxford app, they asked, have you had metastasis more than one time? And are you currently dealing with the recurrent cancer? So that seems to me
Oxford's
like
probably one of the two that asks it that way about a reoccurrence. If you would go with just about any other company, if she's 2 years free of cancer, even if it's more than one time of cancer, most companies she'll be approved. So
yeah, I think what I found out was Oxford and Forrester were the two that had a problem with it twice. But like you said,
Forrester's too.
Yep.
Yeah, you could have went with like Royal Neighbors or Settlers. If it's 5 years free of cancer, Settlers Gold, 2 years on the Silver. That, you know, if they give you immediate decision, Bankers or Liberty Bankers, any of those companies that'll give you a point of sale decision, you could go with, and 2 years free of cancer is fine with most of them.
Okay, cool. Well, that's all I have.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Let us know next week how these first batch of leads work out for you.
I will.
All right. So you got Linda.
Oh, hi. Yes, I'm calling about the telemarketing leads that I purchased. I purchased 30 leads, but there seems to be some sort of disconnect here with the vendor. They're telling me they've run out of people to call, and I called 2 different companies that provide senior list of dialables in my county. And there was 16,515 seniors you could dial between the ages of 55 to 75 in a income range of 15,000 to 50,000. But Mark said that the vendor came back and said they only had 57 people they could dial.
Yeah, they may have dialed that same area for another agent recently. They basically want 100,000 population to fill an order of about 20 to 25 leads. So they,
right.
You know, just give them when you're ordering telemarketing leads, you just have to give them a big area. You can't do it small like direct mail.
I gave them an area of 3.7 million people. My county has 3.7 million people.
Oh. Well, they must have just, you know, they could have just dialed it 3 days earlier for someone else. You know, I don't know how many times they've gone through and filled those lead orders. You know, there's no exclusive areas, but they won't recall immediately for another agent if they just did it for the first agent.
Okay. Well, their first comment was when I started out with 5 cities and about 1 million people. They said they only had 57 people they could dial. That everybody else was on the do not call list, and that's when I realized there were 16,000 people that are not on the do not call list. I don't know. I just feel there's some sort of disconnect.
Yeah, it could be a mistake on their side, but I would just give them some more area and just give them some more area to call. Give them another county you work or something, and let them try it there.
It's not. I don't think it's a conspiracy or anything. The lead companies they're the ones who are ultimately responsible with the laws and do not call. I don't know. So I mean, if that's their list or that's one they use, I mean, that's kind of what they're on the hook for it. So I guess we should be kind of.
Well, they're also quoting
price.
I listened to one call and they're quoting prices. They told a guy, "Oh yeah, it's really cheap. For 20,000, you'll be paying less than $1 a day." That's what one of the calls said, and that's unless this guy's a licensed agent in California, I could have no issues with that. He's quoting price.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening.
I forwarded that call to Mark.
I'm going to call the head guy with that company. Travis, I was going to talk to you about this after the call, but I've heard of a change they've done that what she's saying right there might be an effect of this change where they're not really doing the avatar versions anymore. They're doing live telemarketers, and I'm going to confirm with him and see why, because I like the avatar better, because they didn't ever go off script with it. It was exactly the way it should be. When they have those live people, they can get them off script and they say stupid stuff like that.
These are live people, and they're very argumentative. I'll be honest with you. I would hang up on these people. I feel that people that have credible patience, they're arguing with one guy about, no, beneficiary. I want to know the name of your beneficiary. And the guy says, I just want to know more information. And, the guy was good to go, and he just was arguing with him. I don't know. It's a little surprising. I'm surprised these people sign up at all. I would just hang up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
that may be part of the beauty of it, though, is that they're the type of people that'll put up with a lot of stuff. Maybe exactly
right.
The buyers we need. But we will have a conversation with them and let them know too much badgering to turn it into a lead's not a lead, and also they can't be saying stuff like pricing or any of that kind of stuff.
I forwarded an attachment with the call that's talking about the pricing. It kind of took me off guard. So then when I went to the guy's house, he must have wrote that down because he went ballistic when I told him the price. He was pretty mad and making some threats. I said, I'm really sorry about that. I just tried to cover it the best I could.
Okay, we'll definitely address that.
All right, thank you.
Star 2 on your phone. Let's see, Montana cell phone.
Yeah, this is Banner Demers. I just wanted to chime in. I've had the same experience since I did the changeover as Linda. I thought I had good leads with these guys before when they were the avatars, and they can't. They told me in Butte, Montana, 5 people, and now they switched to guys that can't even speak English. That's the same thing I had with my last IMO. I'm not going to use those guys no more. I'll just use straight mailers.
Yeah, I just heard yesterday that an agent was telling me that he doesn't think they're using the avatars at all anymore. It just live telemarketers, and I hate to hear that. So we're going to see if there's a reason for it and if we can get it put back to the avatars for ours, because those were working really well.
Well, around here, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but 99% of the people around here are white. They speak perfect English. When they get somebody that's speaking in a dialect like that they don't understand, it just makes them angry right off the get-go.
Yep. No, I know. Yeah, we understand. Like I said, it's news to us. We were unaware that, they were going to switch over to. I knew at the beginning that they said that we use both live telemarketers and also the avatars, but it seemed like in the beginning we were getting mostly all avatars, but like switched over. But like Scott and I will we'll find out what's going on. Let's see, Scotty, you got anything else?
I think that's it. Well, other than if Ryan Bird's on the call, won't we see if he'll talk about his experience going to the Oxford convention?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I guess that was.
I had to shut my computer down. The battery's going dead. Travis is.
Okay, I'm looking for him. Ryan, if you're on here, hit star 2 on your phone. Scott, why don't you talk about your experience at the Oxford convention?
Well, it was a good one. It was a lot of fun. It was at Sandals in Nassau in the Bahamas, and it was a beautiful place, just a great resort, great pools, a lot of sun, perfect weather, swim-up bars. Everything was all-inclusive. You just hang around the sun all day and have some cocktails, and Ryan and I and our wives had a good time together, just talking some business and a lot of non-business. And then you just have all kinds of meals all around. Anytime you have the least hunger pain, there's buffets, there's pizza restaurants, there's French restaurants, there's all just great food there. Ryan and I got out on some jet skis out on the ocean, had a blast with them. It was a real good time.
Yeah, it's we talk about it every once in a while, but it's always nice to take advantage of these company trips. I know people out up, they trips, Smith's not a big deal, but I tell you what, it is a big deal to your spouse, and we all know that this is a very difficult job. Not only, with the obstacles, but, the time and obviously, you're getting aggravated moods and a lot of times your spouse is the one who gets the brunt of that. So, it is kind of a cool thing to take, take your spouse with you and kind of, go to cool places that you may or may not have would ever went. And it's definitely a lot of fun when you go and someone else is paying for it. So, if you're a full-time FE guy, and I say guy is, person, that you should hit a trip. You should win one. I mean, it's nice that we have, 15 different companies, but you're costing yourself a lot of headache. One, it's tough to manage all your business when you shotgun all your business all over the place, and keep on track of all that stuff. But, you guys should settle into a favorite company or a favorite, 1-2 punch. And if you're running leads every week and you're putting business on the books, every week, you guys should hit a trip and take advantage of that. And it's definitely a lot of fun. I mean, I've had some unbelievable experiences, from the trips. I mean, some of the coolest places I've ever been, and some of the fondest memories have, been the catalyst has been, an insurance company trip. So, it's something to take advantage of and be a part of. And, that's, and it's nice to pick out a company and be a superstar and they know who you are. And when you call them, they'll help you. There's definitely a lot of value to, being a superstar with one company.
Something that was kind of funny there. Is Ryan on the call? Can you see Travis?
No, he's not on here.
Okay, he might have got off our last time earlier. But something that was funny was we went out. Sandals owns a private island out, a mile out from their resort beach. So we have to take a shuttle boat out there to this island and Oxford had a cocktail party set up for us, a meet and greet the second night we were there. And everybody's out there just kind of talking and chatting, having little hors d'oeuvres. And Ryan notices a guy that he went to high school with. And he hadn't seen him since high school. And he said, "Man, that's weird." He goes, "I'm out on the middle of in the ocean in the Bahamas, and I think I see a guy I haven't seen since high school." And he went over and talked to him. Sure enough, that was him. And the guy turned out to be a big producer for annuities. He's a big annuity guy with Oxford. And they kind of hooked up and talked. And he said, "Man, you just don't expect to run into an old high school buddy here in the middle of an island in the ocean." It was just kind of funny.
Well, I wish I would have got to that. Heck, it's been so long ago. I thought that was last week. I thought we already talked about that. I'm in a vortex. Let's see.
Yeah, my suntan's already fading.
Yeah. Better get back. Better maintain that. Let's see. Garrett, North Carolina. That's what's showing up. Garrett. I don't know.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I just actually sent in my paperwork, the contract for you guys this morning, and I've got a question regarding these. When you guys do mailers, I mean, obviously you can go north, south, east, west, and just trying to figure out how do you really decide where to cast your net? Because sure as day, you go south and north would have been, a big haul, versus the other, and just trying to understand if you guys try to target more rural kind of places where people, or factory, workers or whatever that may not have insurance. I just didn't know if there's a method to the madness of that.
Most agents don't want inner city. Like, what area of the country do you live in?
Raleigh.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, I'm not sure how populated Raleigh is, but I mean, if you've got really slummy ghettos,
yeah,
it's populated.
Yeah.
So you basically want to eliminate zip codes where it's just extreme poverty, where it's got buildings with locks on them where you can't get in unless they beep you in and all that kind of stuff. I would not start out with those. You want to be more rural. You want to have ages that make sense. 55 to 80 is what we're doing on our set price leads. That's what I would probably do with any direct mail. And then you want you can take the incomes down to 0 to 40 or 50,000 if you're doing rural. But if you get into that inner city, I wouldn't go down to 0 because it's a different type of zero income in the ghetto than it is out in the country. But basically, you want to do the whole area around you, except for areas that you don't want to work. And then after you work it a bit, you're going to know you might want to eliminate some more of them, or you might want to add some areas that you didn't reach out to get a little better. But you're going to be the expert on it once you get into this and go a lap or two through there more than anybody can guess at it for you.
The reason I ask you that is based on, other business I write, it seems like some of these metropolitan areas just get hammered. And obviously, after a while, people start responding to certain things. I mean, certainly I know you can do the guaranteed, bill that y'all have and that kind of thing. But I just wondered if, like in the mountains, I mean, I'm 3 hours from the mountains, and 2 hours from the ocean. But in the mountains, I just have the nice people, man. I have never had anybody be a jerk to me. Everybody I've ever written in the mountains on other business has just been nice. And I just wondered if there's, if everybody tries to, basically fish in the backyard, or if any of you guys, literally, book up a hotel for a week and just do that.
Yeah, getting out of the city, doing what the other agents aren't doing is going to be your best bet. So if you're willing to get out there and stay in a hotel, get out to where it's away from the populated areas, you're probably going to do better. The downside is they're spread out more.
One thing, Gary, in my travels of doing this, you're not the only one who's thought. I mean, just going to the mountains doesn't mean you're going to be the only insurance agent in the mountains. I mean, there's other agents who thinking the same thing. In my experience, it's agent preference. It doesn't really matter. If you're more comfortable, some people like working in the inner city. Your appointments are always close. There's not a lot of driving. It's same spot all the time. If you have a lot of leads, you can do a lot of drive-bys and door knocks. And I'm telling you, I know people who, we got Lisa Dusing. She does very well. She works in Indianapolis. I don't know. There's people that work. There's a ton of final expense insurance that's sold in the inner cities, and a ton sold, in the rural area. I think it's more about whatever makes the agent comfortable. Whatever's conducive for their life and lifestyle. I mean, for me, I don't care how nice the people are. I'm not going to stay in a hotel for 2 or 3 nights a week. I don't know. That goes against the whole purpose of me doing this job. Quality of life. So maybe but I have done that before. But I guess now I wouldn't. I guess I've never done for final expense. But whatever you're comfortable with, and I think whatever is going to make you at ease, it kind of carries over to your presentations and the people you see. I don't think there's a huge difference either way. I think the first thing would be go wherever you're happiest, and you'll be fine. And I will say this about what you're saying before. I thought the same thing when I first got in this business. I thought certainly these people are going to stop mailing these cards in. It never stops, for 10 years, I've been working the same little cluster of counties and mailing and I always get cards back. It never ever stops. So don't worry about it drying up.
Yeah, I guess it's just I can be analytical at times and just trying to basically figure, okay, if people are lazy and they just want to be home, and eat 2 meals a day at their house or 3 or whatever, they just go and do it that way. I just was wondering, because I've been to every Section 8 housing property in the state. I've been in, I've seen the first trailer that ever came off the assembly line. I've been everywhere over the last 9 years I've been doing this. So I was just trying to figure out if that's just trying to think too hard and don't think that way, or just because obviously I hear these stories from JD and some of you guys where people are mailing these cards in, twice a week, whatever. And I just, that would be a grind. Talk about agent killers. That would be a grind, of just getting a lot of nosebleeds of that stuff. So that was my only thinking, just figuring where are some areas that nobody wants to go to. That there's not even a dead carcass side of the road to eat for lunch. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was wondering.
But one thing you're saying that's 100% true is you're thinking too much. You just have to get out there and get in front of people. It's like I was saying, whatever you want to do as far as the people out in the rural, in the inner city, wherever you want to go. But the whole key is don't sit there trying to plan the perfect situation and never get out there. You want to get your case ready, get your companies ready. You know how to fill out an app. You know how to figure a rate. Get out there and get in front of people. And that's what makes and breaks these agents. Too many of them sit there analyzing every detail and never get out there and put it into action.
Yeah, they think they're building a bomb. I mean, it's not just just go out and see people. And the other thing is agents that have leads. They see their stack of leads on their desk and they think, oh, there's so much business, and they're scared to go through them. They're scared to tackle them in fear that people are going to tell them no, they're not going to be able to, make sales. But as long as they haven't touched them, as long as they're still sitting on their desk, it's like a lottery ticket that they haven't, did the ping pong balls yet. Like, oh, I got a chance to win. It's, but you got to dive into them and work through them and see what you got, because that fantasy of your stack of leads and how much money you're going to make is just that. It's a fantasy. You got to go to work and not overthink it.
I hear you. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Last call, star 2. Scotty, how long a break do you want to take before do the new agent?
10 minutes will be fine.
Okay. One more quick question here. Was it Connecticut?
Yeah.
You're alive.
Thanks. I listened to you regarding the set price lead program. I caught it kind of late as I got into the room. Is that through the website or is that through another vendor?
No, it's not on the website yet. Basically, it's a vendor that doesn't deal direct with the agent. We deal with agencies, so we have to kind of be the middle people on it. To get on that set price direct mail, you have to commit to doing it every week. Like you want 20 leads a week, every single week. It's not for jumping in, jumping out, and just doing occasional mailings. It's for agents that want 20 or more leads every single week. They have to put a deposit up front of equal to 3 weeks worth of lead orders. So if you want 20 a week, there's $26 a piece. So 20 times 26 times 3, and that number would be your deposit. I think it's $1,560 if I remember right. But you put that in up front. Then they start your mailings, and you give them the areas you want to work. So you can give them exact counties. You can eliminate zip codes you don't want, or you can just give them specific zip codes. However you want to do it, you arrange the zips in the order that you want them to mail them in. So you can make a big circle around the area that you work, and you want to give them enough data that they're going to take at least 90 days to lap themselves around. Then they'll start your mailings, and it takes about 3 weeks for your first ones to start coming in. Once they come in, there's a database that we give you a sign-on to, so you'll sign on under your name. And then every Friday, we put your 20 leads into your database, so you'll have them there to print out and work them from that point on. If your leads come up short, like if you want 20 a week and you only get 18, you just get charged $26 times 18. So you don't, that's the beauty of it, is that you don't pay if you have a short drop. If extras come in, we'll normally offer them to you if you want them this week. So I had one agent this week that got 26. He wants 20 a week. So I just emailed him and said, do you want 20 or do you want to take the whole 26? So you have the option of taking extras if you want. Basically, it's a good, strong lead. It says life insurance on the lead, and it's working out real good. We've been doing it now, I guess, 2 months, and the agents that are on the program are all pretty happy with it. Haven't had any complaints at all.
Awesome. And I contact you about that, or you said it wasn't on the website? Okay.
Well, you can send me a text. We'll be fine. Okay. That same text number I gave a while ago, 270-823-2413.
Okay.
And it'll probably be tomorrow before I get back with you. I've got a busy afternoon today. I'll get back with you over the weekend or first of next week.
Oh, okay. Terrific. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Let's be back here. We'll be back at what you want to do noon, Scott?
Yeah, 10:47 here, so it'll be
okay.
11 o'clock.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks. Like I said, if you want to join back in here in 10 minutes, we'll discuss some other companies, new agent stuff. You're welcome to join, even if you're an old agent. So, but if we don't talk to you, have a great weekend and a good week next week, and we'll talk to you again next